Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. This is part 4 of this series, and I think the last one. I took this photograph or a engraving. It's a moon that's been digitized by Photograve, and then I've done several different versions of it, and it keeps getting better and better, but it keeps getting more intense. So this to be honest with you, this is something you probably couldn't sell because it's a little bit time consuming. But if you look at this, I painted the wood black. So let's just start from the start. I took a piece of, this was maple, and I actually primed it with gray primer first. I paint a lot. So I painted it with gray primer, let it dry, then I painted it with white. I'm just using rattle can Rust-Oleum white, semi-gloss maybe, doesn't really matter. Then, when the paint was dry, I taped it off completely, every square inch of it. And then I put it in the laser, and yes, my laser is dirty. Make sure your board's square and it'll butt up to your rulers because you're going to put it in there twice. Then I lasered off the tape everywhere except for where I want the moon. I actually had to run it twice to kind of get away. When the tape overlaps, the laser, and this was like, so I ran it twice. The first time, it doesn't quite get off all the primer, which wouldn't have been a problem. But it's got these ridges where the paint, where the tape is doubled up, and you've got to double it up to get a good seal. So I ran it again. It's still got a little bit of a ridge, but it doesn't matter when I painted it. I forgot to take a picture of it painted with the mask. And then I just pulled off the tape. Now, several people have gotten my file, and I'm going to update the file if you send me an email. I'll have my email at the bottom of this video. I took out a little bit of the detail because the other one has so many details at the bottom that it'd be hard to get the tape off. This pretty much pulled off all one piece. And then that's the final result. So I painted this black, pulled off the mask, and then I ran the moon only. And I ran the moon, so it doesn't matter what you run this at. I ran it at 100 power, 70 speed, 600 dots per inch, twice, because I don't want to melt the tape. And then I ran this at like 100 power, 70 speed, and only 400 dots per inch to give it that look. I mean, in person, it looks real. Now, save a step, but it doesn't. This took very little. That itself is pretty cool. It's just white paint. But if you go the next step and get the moon, and if you go back and look at the other videos, so I nudged the moon out of the way. And in the one, so if you'll ask me, so I'm going to have two versions to give away now. One of them is just for raw wood, no painting, or even painting maybe, but I've taken out some of the details, but I've actually adapted the moon where it will not engrave this other part. It'll just engrave what it needs to engrave. But I did take out some detail of the trees like that. So this is the engraved version. I haven't gone back out of the shop. I took all these few details out so you wouldn't have to worry about getting the tape off those little bitty pieces. And I think it looks just as good if you look at it. I mean, who's to know? Anyway, I'll have my email at the bottom if you want the painted version or the engraved version. I mean, the painted version could be the engraved version too. You would just don't have to go through the separate steps. Anyway, fun project. Little bit of work, a little bit of, I don't think you could have you couldn't sell them because I don't think it'd be worth the time. But anyway, have fun. Thank you for watching.